Hello, I'm Jill and today I'm going to show you how to make a very quick and easy knitted mug cosy. As the days get colder in the winter, it's always interesting how the hot drinks in your cup go colder more quickly, and personally I like mine to stay hot for as long as possible. So I'm going to show you how to make a very quick and easy mug cosy like this with buttons in nice chunky yarn so it knits up very quickly. The first thing we need to do is to measure the mug that you've chosen to use for your mug cosy. And you need to measure the circumference of your mug. And this one here is just about 27 centimetres. You then need to refer to your ball band on the yarn that you're using. And that will always show you where the little grid is, how many stitches and how many rows to 10 centimetres. If you divide the number of stitches to 10 centimetres by 10, then you will get the number of stitches you need for 1 centimetre, and then multiply that by the circumference of your mug so you know how many stitches to cast on all together to go all the way around your mug. The mug I'm using with 27 centimetres circumference, the yarn I'm using has 14 stitches to 10 centimetres, so I've calculated that roughly to be 38 stitches that I need to cast on. I've cast on using the thumb method, which gives you a nice stretchy edge to your casting on. If you need to know anything about the basic stitches, if you're very new to knitting, then you can of course always refer to our basic knitting stitches section on Knit One TV. I've started by knitting with a purl. I've started with a purl row and worked 2 rows in stocking stitch so that you see the 2 purl rows on the right side of the mug cosy. Then changed and knitted another knit row, so it was 1 row purl and 2 row knit, so that you then have another row of your plain knitting stitch on the right hand side. This will give you a band of plain stocking stitch in between the top and bottom edges of reverse stocking stitch, like you can see on the mug here. So you need to continue in stocking stitch, 1 row knit and 1 row purl, until it measures almost to the top of your mug. You obviously want to leave a little gap here because that's where you're going to be putting your mouth when you drink from the cup. So when you have roughly enough to go to the depth of your cup with about 1 centimetre to spare, you then need to change the order of your rows. So if you've just done a knit row, you'll need to do another knit row to change the stitches to your reverse stocking stitch. And then when you've done 2 more rows like that, cast off so that you end up with your finished piece. So that's the piece I've got now with the reverse stocking stitch border either side, cast off, and this is the long end that I've left so that I can crochet some loops for the buttons. You may have noticed in the time that I've been knitting this that we're a little bit quieter now. Our studio is based on a beautiful farm here in the Sussex countryside. It does mean of course that you do sometimes get the normal farm noises in the background, and our farmer here today is busy doing his harvest at this time of year, so apologies if you get any interference in the background. As you can see from this one, I've attached 3 buttons to this and made 3 loops on the other side to put it round your cosy. Taking a crochet hook, similar thickness to the needles you've been using, just insert it in your top stitch and draw that yarn through. Make another stitch and then put it into the next stitch in the next row going down and just work double crochet. Now I think on this one I'm just going to choose to use 1 big button, so I'm going to do just 1 big loop to show you how I make the loops. So I'm just going to do 1 more row and then I'm just going to make a chain of stitches. You want it to be big enough so that it will stretch around the button that you're using and just have a very slight curve to it. So I'm now going to put the crochet hook back at the other edge of the reverse stocking stitch, pull it through there as a slip stitch, and then carry on as I did before in the end stitch of each row with a double crochet stitch until I get to the last one. And just finish that off. This end can be now sewn in. And snipped off. Now I need to attach my button. You need to make sure you have a needle that fits through the holes of your button, but that you can also get your thread through. There's various large-eyed tapestry needles that you can buy with eyes of different sizes. So it's always useful to have a selection of large-eyed needles at home in your work basket. Again, just weave through the first few stitches till you get to the middle. On the wrong side. And just do a stitch or two to secure the end of your yarn. Then just go in from the edge slightly and take your needle through to the right side and attach your button. The end away again through your stitches. And there's your new mug cosy, all finished and ready to go on your mug to keep your drink nice and warm. Enjoy.